Hi friends, John Smart again. I often share what a major mentor, Charlie Tremendous Jones, he put a big seed into my life years ago when he said we're exactly the same today as we'll be in 5 or 10 years time, apart from two things: the people that you meet and the books that you read. Well, what I'm all about is offering my services to actually help people get into extravagant personal and business growth, like to get your whole life in really serious momentum. It took me a fair bit of my life to learn it, and at 61 years young, I think I've really got it down pat. A major book which influences everything that I do to this day is written by a journalist in North America called Malcolm Gladwell. It's called The Tipping Point. You may have heard it. It's one of the few books I've read more than twice and underlined most of it. And this is what Malcolm Gladwell says, and it's what I'd like to offer to you is what John does. If you take an area of your life, I'd like to become your friend, in Australia as we say your mate, and see if I can't help you to become far better off by learning what it is that I possibly, hopefully can teach you. Here's the three things about the book. Malcolm Gladwell says this: if you want to get your life, in any area of your life, into extravagant momentum, it'll happen basically because of three things. Because the tipping point is all about getting your life in any area to tip. So the scales tilt, you're putting nuggets on one side of gold, you're putting the weights on the other, and finally the scales tip, and then your life gets into extravagant, momentous growth in whatever area that you choose. Now, this is what Gladwell says. First part of the tipping point is the law of the few. And so I'm very transparent, guys. At 61, I have learnt all this from other people, from mentors and friends around the world, and by sheerly living life and having some major ups and downs and a few crises and things. And I'm looking for guys that might say, well, pick me, John. I want to be one of the few that I link with you. I like you. It's no big deal. And everyone's not going to like each other, right? But the law of the few that Gladwell talks about is that there's only ever a handful that take life on and live it to the max. Would you like to be one of those? And you can choose to be that. That took me a lot of my life to learn that. So are you choosing? Yeah, John, I'm one of those. I'd like to live life to the max. I'm one of the few. That handful, right? By choice. Number two, the second thing of Malcolm Gladwell's Tipping Point book says it's all to do with the stickiness factor of our message. And I'm at the point in my life now where this is all I do, right? And so if what I'm sharing up the camera lens really sticks in your life, then let's meet. Let's meet down at Mermaids on the Gold Coast. Is it Mermaids? The Mermaids at Burleigh Heads. And let's have a chat. Or come to my home here in Brizzy. But my message is simply this: that the person you've turned out to be so far in your life, it's all because of the way you've thought and the experiences you've had. But here's the amazing message that needs to be shouted very simply around the world. And if I can do it, you certainly can. That is, you can become any person that you really choose to be in any area. So does that message stick with you? Because I'm looking to connect with those guys that, yeah, this is really great, I'd like to know more. As Gladwell said, if your message has got this real stickiness factor, then you'll take your life in whatever chosen area into momentum. The third thing Gladwell talked about was the power of context. Where you live, the situations you're in now, and as the planets line up for you, and you put those three things together, then your life will go into absolutely extravagant momentum. And as I've learned today, happy dad of 4 kids, 3 married daughters and 10 grandkids. There's so many guys and gals, young and old, that are really looking to take life on, live it happy, God-centered to the max. Well, I'm putting my hand up to say to you, hey, look, let's get together. Make contact with me and I may well be able to help you get your life into extravagant momentum. The tipping point. Let's get your life to tip. And all I can do is share with you what I've learned. Thanks for listening.